She kept being great despite rejection, despite delay, despite public humiliation. She did not need outside validation to continue to walk in her greatness. And you, my friend, do not need outside validation either. Devil, how long should I persist? I've been doing this for so long. He says until it happens. Yeah, until it happens. So don't ask how long. Just keep going. If it hasn't happened yet, it's not the end. So many of us watched the Grammys this past Sunday, and there was this like glaring theme that came from that award show for me, especially being a fan of Beyonce's. I am a Beehiver through and through. Fight your mama, don't fight me. Um, just kidding. But no, to any hater, keep it moving. That way there will be no Beyonce slander ever on this page. But anyway, so there was a glaring theme of perseverance that I just could not ignore, and I had to come on here and talk about it because it's not just from the award show, but just a lot of the amazing things that I've been witnessing from people in the collective community who are working on their inner, in a sense that they are understanding our ability to be intentional creators, and they're doing everything in their power to learn about our abilities, to learn how to elevate their frequency and to be of service to not just themselves and in their personal lives, but also to others and the world at large. Because ultimately, you'll get to a point as an intentional creator where you'll do all the things, you'll get all the things, and after a while it's just like, okay, what else can I do? And the what else is contribute. Don't just make your life better. As Neville Goddard always teaches through Law of Assumption, lift the world on high, lift others on high. Like, don't just keep these gifts of intentional creation to yourself. Help others learn it, but more importantly, demonstrate it on behalf of others. See others in a higher light. Do good deeds imaginally and in prayer for other people. And set your intentions to be of good service to others in the world, because it's bigger than just you and I. But anyways, I can go on a tangent. But the glaring theme was perseverance. And perseverance is so important because we like to give in to instant gratification a lot as a generation. And it's not our fault. There's really no one to blame. But technology has made us a lot more impatient. And it's given us a false sense of how things work and how things might take time. And because we're so used to instant gratification through technology, these apps, social media, being able to access people at the drop of a dime. You know what I'm talking about, because the minute somebody don't answer their phone or reply to a text within a few hours or within a day, you got an attitude. Why? Because you feel entitled to have them respond immediately. Why? Because having cell phones have given us a sense of entitlement to people's time and attention. And we get upset when they don't respond to us, and we make the story about us. Oh, they dodging me, or they're doing something to me, or you make it as if, there's a problem, when in actuality, people just being people and living their life. And it got nothing to do with you. And they don't owe you to respond to you quickly. But, teach his own, whatever you want to believe, however you want to feel. But I'm just saying, entitlement is a thing. And instant gratification is another thing. But long story short, so perseverance is something that a lot of people don't have the patience for. So we'll throw in the towel prematurely. We will give up because our efforts aren't rendering a result that we can see with our five senses. And so many people go into the questioning mode. Is this really working? Or maybe it only works for other people and not myself. I've seen this a lot in the manifestation community, where when people aren't getting results from their technique usage, they automatically go into doubting, and then they start questioning, is it working, or does it really work, or are these people just lucky, or is it woo-woo, or is it crazy? And it's like, no. Neville Goddard had this quote that I constantly repeat in a lot of my content, and it goes like this: for the vision has its own appointed hour, It ripens, it will flower. If it be long, then wait, for it is sure and it will not be late. And I think he kind of scrubbed that from a biblical scripture, but don't quote me on that. But that quote was dead on, because anytime you have a goal, that goal has its own inner workings for how it will play out, right? We don't really get to control the how of anything. We just get to set the intention, and from that intention move in the direction. But how things unfold is unknown, right? So with that being said, time in this 3D reality is a thing that we abide by, because it governs this reality. You have to move through space, and that takes time. To get from one point to another point, let's say I'm over here, and then I want to get over here. Moving from here to there, this takes time. These are milliseconds. It takes time to move through space. And so in this reality, we have to respect time. When a woman is pregnant, it takes 9 months for the baby to develop fully and healthily, right? Like, anything prior to that may be considered premature, and you can run the risk of the baby having health complications or issues, right? Same with the mother. With every species, whether it's a cow or an elephant, each species, when it comes to pregnancy, takes an allotted amount of time. It takes its own amount of time. I think an elephant takes like over a year or something like that, and a horse may take like 18 months. I don't know, I'm making it up, but I know that there are differences from species to species how long it takes to be ready for birth. And so Neville likened manifestation in the same way. He said the vision has its own appointed hour. That means you don't need to go looking and searching for the how or the when. You just need to set the intention and move in the direction, right? Walk as it. Be the embodiment of it. Live in the end, as Neville said. And as you're doing that, you remove your attention and focus from time. And you just keep hacking at your goal. And I bring this up because Beyonce, we all know, she won Album of the Year. She has several Grammys. I think she has something like 35 Grammys. She's been nominated for Album of the Year multiple times over the years and never won it, right? But we look at an artist like her, and we look at her dedication, we look at her artistry, and we look at her mastery, and we look at her genius and how she's still able to give us 1,000% from album to album, project to project, and still submit her music to be considered in those categories, especially Album of the Year, despite rejection time and time again. And I think it was Tamar Braxton wrote a heartfelt message about how that inspired her, which also inspired me, by the way. But she wrote a message thanking Beyonce for her demonstration, because Tamar also had been in some categories for nominations, and I think it was like 5, and she was speaking on how she felt like giving up. But seeing Beyonce and her work ethic and her perseverance all these years, and still submitting her music to be considered in that category, to finally winning the first time, the first one in that category, how that was inspiring. And it is inspiring, because, you know, I hear people in the manifestation community who have done miraculous things like healing from chronic illness or diseases that are incurable. These people just make it a point to focus their intention on being healed. Now, that can encompass a number of things. I know for the community that I'm a part of, things like nervous system regulation, meditation. I talk a lot about meditation because it's a game changer, especially when you understand the science behind it and you know what you're doing when you go in, and you really connect with source. Life-changing, right? But all of these people have a common thread, a theme, and that is they took their focus and attention off time, and they didn't really care how long it took. And so when you get to that point in your journey where time is the furthest thing from your mind, and all you're focused on is who you're being day to day, moment to moment, I think that's the same mentality that a person like Beyonce operates with. She understood that she was disappointed when she didn't get picked many times for Album of the Year, even though she poured her heart and soul, even though other artists who would win the category would then turn to her and say she should have won out of their own mouths, like Adele did back in, what was that, 2000? Something, I can't remember. But Adele won a freaking Grammy and said, I can't accept this award. This belongs to Beyonce, the artist of my lifetime. You know, come on. She still persevered after public humiliation time and time again. And she didn't let that taint the quality of her product that she put out. And she didn't let that deter her from constantly submitting year after year when she would create an album, a body of work. And so it says a lot. It speaks volumes to how we have to condition ourselves to not be so consumed with instant gratification, because greatness can take time. If you could see into the future and know that every manifestation that you set out to get is going to absolutely happen, would you even care about time? No, because you already know the end. You already know that it's absolute truth and it's absolutely going to happen. So you would just enjoy your day to day, move in that direction, knowing that it's going to happen, embody the version of you who already know you have it because you've seen the future. And you would allow yourself to be pleasantly surprised when it all unfolds. And so this is what a Beyonce has done. This is what people who have experienced miraculous healings and miraculous just miracles of manifestations. You take your attention off of time. You make that the least of your focus and focus more on the quality of your existence, moment to moment, day to day. I previously did a video on why how you exist is more important than the actual manifestation, because how you exist has more to do with your ability to make manifest anyway. When you're intentional about what you're manifesting, how you exist matters, right? Because if you're spending most of your time worried, angry, frustrated, or in any of the lower frequencies of emotion, that is not conducive to feeling like the person who already has it, right? You're being the total opposite. You're feeling like you're lacking. You're feeling like you're separate. And so we know that you don't get what you want in life. You get what you are aware or conscious of being. And so if you are aware and conscious of being separate from your manifestation, you're going to continue to get more of that. But if you can then shift, and instead of feeling like you're lackful because you're focused on time, and instead focus on embodiment, embodying the version of you who already has it, embodying the feelings of the version of you who already has it, and you knew that it was an absolute certain thing that you were going to get it, you wouldn't have to focus on time. Your quality of time would be elevated because you would spend your time in fulfillment, feeling like it's already happened, feeling fulfilled, feeling like you're already whole and complete. Nothing is lacking. You're not separate from anything, especially not your good. And so I said all of that to say that there is something powerful about perseverance. And when you can practice it by not focusing on time, not comparing yourself to others or even your old self, in a sense that you are doing so to amplify or bring awareness to the lack of your manifestation, to the lack or the separation from you and your good, you and your desire, the more you can shift your focus and awareness and feel whole now, you are feeding your vision more than you're feeding your doubts and fears. And so where attention goes, energy flows. You don't get what you want, you get what you are conscious of being. So yes, Strange to Beyonce. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Did I do that right? Strange to Beyonce on winning Album of the Year after many, many years of rejection. We've all publicly witnessed it, and we all also got to publicly witness what perseverance can do. And she finally got a chance to gloat and take it all in. But I love that she did not need Album of the Year to validate her gift, to validate her genius. She kept being great despite rejection, despite delay, despite public humiliation, despite it all. She did not need outside validation to continue to walk in her greatness, to continue to persevere in her vision, to continue to explore her genius. And you, my friend, do not need outside validation either. Take your attention and focus off time. Take your attention and focus off of comparison. And take your attention and focus off of external validation. And persevere. Persist. As Neville Goddard would say, someone asked him once, Neville, how long should I persist? I've been doing this for so long. He says, until it happens. Yeah, until it happens. So don't ask how long. Just keep going. If it hasn't happened yet, it's not the end. Keep going. Persist until it happens. This is your reminder. You got this.